And that is why the Queen sent me to appoint you the head of the top-secret ministry in case the nation is attacked by space weasels. Well, Nigel, I can't say that I'm surprised, but it definitely is an honor. Please extend my appreciation. Oh, and while you're at it, Her Majesty may also express an interest in this. Artificial intelligence, as in intelligence that isn't real? Exactly. I didn't realize you were an expert on the matter. Well, not to brag, but I am presently taking a 500-level course on the subject. Do tell! My research involves ants. Virtual ants. Solving a maze. Virtual ants? As in ants that aren't real? Exactly. Ant colony optimization, or ACO, seeks to solve problems by simulating the behavior of an ant colony. My goal is to use such a simulated colony to find the solution to a maze. Why would anyone want to do such a thing? Well, traditional maze-solving techniques involve having a computer-generated runner traverse the maze by always following the wall on its right-hand side until it reaches an exit. I plan to improve on this by dispatching multiple ants to explore different paths simultaneously, hopefully reaching a solution earlier. No, I mean, why would anyone want a computer to solve a maze? Anyway, my research studies the results of dispatching multiple entities to scan the maze at the same time. Clearly, they can't all use the right-hand rule or they'll all just follow the same path. Of course. How do you overcome that hurdle? The answer, my friend, lies in pheromones. Virtual pheromones. Good heavens! As in pheromones that aren't real? Exactly. ACO is nothing new. For years, people have been applying ACO to problems that we can represent as graphs. The idea is to plot the problem as a graph and release a colony of virtual ants to traverse the edges. As they find optimal paths, they mark those paths with pheromone. Virtual pheromone. Exactly. In traditional ACO systems, ants are attracted to paths laden with pheromone. As they discover more and more optimal paths through the graph, those paths will receive more pheromone. The idea is that they will eventually find the optimal solution to the problem because the best path will contain the most pheromone.
Oh, baby, that smells good.
Please, Frank. Now, in this case, we're trying to solve a maze. A maze is a special type of graph, but this time, rather than wanting the ants to converge on a single path, we want them to explore different branches. To accomplish this, I make it so the pheromone repulses the ants instead of attracting them.
Oh, dude, that's nasty.
Please, Frank. When an ant reaches the end of a corridor, it examines its options. It wants to follow the least explored path, so it chooses the one with the least amount of pheromone. What if it encounters a dead end? In that case, it fumigates the corridor by setting its pheromone level to over 9,000. Over 9,000? Indeed! Yes, and if an ant comes to a crossroads where all the available paths are fumigated, it fumigates that path as well. What, over 9,000? There's no way that can be right! Do not go in there! Whew! And also of interest is what happens when an ant is traversing a corridor while another ant fumigates it. It knows it's on the wrong path, but doesn't know exactly where to go. So, it teleports to the location of another ant. It's over 9,000! Mind if I join you? And by working together, the ants find the location of the maze exit. Brilliant! Surely this is an improvement over the single right-hand follower. Yeah, about that. What? What is it? Keep in mind that the same processor moving the right-hand runner also moves the ants. In terms of processing time, one runner step equals one ant step. So, if you have 4 ants in the maze, in the time it took to move all 4 ants one step, the runner can move 4 steps. A bit of a sticky wicket, that. To generate the mazes, I use code from the master's thesis of Martin Fulton of Masaryk University, who I'll credit at the end of this presentation. That code provided several maze generation algorithms, but I focused on 4 due to the distinctive characteristics of the mazes they produced. Recursive Backtracker produces traditional-looking mazes with long, winding corridors and a few branches. Prim's algorithm produces mazes with a large number of branches into short corridors. The hunt and kill algorithm produces something between the two, and the bacterial growth algorithm produces long, straight corridors that lead to dead ends. As you'd expect, the ants perform best on the mazes generated with Prim's algorithm, since it has more branches to explore simultaneously. However, even with that, over a course of 100 runs, the ants took an average 1.6 times as many steps as the right-hand runner on Prim's mazes. It does steadily worse as the corridor length increases, up to 2.2 times as many steps on average on mazes generated with the recursive backtracker.
That is a conundrum.
Wait, I know. What if you distributed the ants across multiple processors? The ubiquity of multi-core consumer devices can work to your advantage. Well said, Nigel, and I did think of that. However... No, surely! I split the ants into 2 threads, 2 ants per thread, and ran them on separate cores. Then I ran the right-hand runner separately and measured each of their performances in milliseconds. The results were not stellar. 3 times as long for Prim's mazes, 4 times for the recursive backtracker.
Oh, rest assured I share your disappointment.
But all is not lost. My research has made progress. I have blazed a trail that others must follow, and they will follow it. For like a virtual ant, I shall lay my pheromones on this path as a glowing beacon for future researchers to sniff out and follow to the exit of the maze of ACO research. Yes, well, look at the time. I must get back to Her Majesty with your report. Best wishes.
Goodbye, my friend. Research pheromones over 9,000!
Mondays are new episodes. Do you like artificial intelligence?
No.
Do you like computer science?
No.
Why not?